The state of trading content on social media is not getting any better. In fact, between self-absorbed psychos and bullshit artists of all kinds, it just takes a few minutes on X to realize that it's only getting worse by the day. And it's about time we start a deep cleaning of this space by rebuilding a strong last line of defense. Those who seek genuine leadership on their learning curve to becoming a trader need to know that who they are listening to is not yet another delusional clown. So in order to rebuild that trust, I took it upon myself to create the Audited Traders Alliance, a tight group of traders with social media presence who gave you the respect that you deserve by doing the heavy lifting first before opening their mouths, meaning by doing the only thing that matters, making their own trading fully transparent with third-party audited track records and bringing back legitimacy to a space that desperately needs it. So let me show you how this game-changing initiative works and how you too can join this select group. The Audited Traders Alliance, which I will refer to as ATA going forward, is very different from any other trading community available anywhere on social media. That is because it values a high standard set of criteria, verifiable risk-adjusted performance, and objectively quantified metrics that are carefully avoided by design by all the scammers and wannabe gurus out there. It relies on 6 evaluation criteria and delivers 5 levels of performance ranging from verified to bronze, silver, gold, and diamond. Now before we go any further, let me make this exceedingly clear. The difference between verified and diamond is not the trust level associated with the trader, but merely the completeness of their skills. Every single trader appearing in the ATA will be vetted against the scrutiny of my over 2 decades of experience in this field, both as a licensed professional and a full-time independent quant with a 7-figure real money track record ranking A tier at RSQI. So merely getting verified here is already a high hurdle of authentication that 99% of all so-called traders posing on social media will never come close to passing for the simple reason that most are fakes and frauds who build their reputation on hype, aggressively building engagement, as well as capitalizing on the ignorance of their audience about anecdotal evidence when it comes to trading matters. So please understand that just a verified badge with the ATA is already more worthy of anyone's attention in magnitudes compared to anything that's available online. Now here's how it works. As you will see, I'm trying to keep myself out of the equation as much as possible in order for the process to remain as trustless as possible. So to be referenced in the ATA, here's what you need to do. Number 1, your account must either be real money at a regulated broker or simulated on a regulated platform. That means no demo account, no shady brokerage in the Marshall Islands, and no prop firm challenges or trading cups. The reason for that is very simple: to avoid anecdotal evidence and the risk of conflict of interest or collusion between parties, as well as fakeries at the management or even at the server level. Regarding simulated accounts, the platform's regulated status is essential in providing vital execution assumptions when it comes to realistic liquidity, latency, and spreads. And if the platform is regulated, you will typically know it because they make it a point to let you know that they are. If you don't, look further, but the likelihood is that they aren't. Number 2, you must submit your best, most significant track record, which obviously has to be third-party audited and can be checked by anyone online via a simple link to the site of the third party. That means no screenshot, no signed PDF from an auditing firm, no testimonials from your Telegram channel, no video of a live account login or any shenanigans of that kind that I am sure many of you have been conditioned to accept as proof in the past. We do not do that here. A simple, straight-through audit from the broker or the regulated SIM is required. I want a link, point blank, full stop. Market log, MyFXbook, DarwinX, DarwinX0, Collective 2 are a thing nowadays. If you're legit, you have all you need to make it happen, so no excuses. Number 3, the audit must reflect both your return and exhaustive risk metrics. I cannot stress that enough. Your risk metrics are even more important than anything else. In particular, your maximum drawdown needs to be clearly shown. That is why so-called track records at Kinfo, for example, cannot be regarded as legit for our use case. We don't do gamified dollar profits or high return porn here. Trading performance is risk-adjusted returns only, and that is what the ATA sticks to. Again, we don't care about your ability to generate profit. Boomers themselves can generate profit with their 401k. I don't care about that. All that matters is your performance after it has been normalized for risk. If you have what it takes, you can submit your information to me either by using the contact form on the FX Physics website or by sending me a DM on X, which might take longer for me to reply, but all I need from you is 3 items total: the link to your track record, your best social media account on X or YouTube or Instagram or whatever you prefer, and a logo or an avatar to represent you. If you do not provide all 3, I will ignore your application. The membership is free for now since I'm not expecting the workload to be much, but things could change in the future for new members in case I start receiving 1 or more applications a day. Remember, it's only me here. After your initial listing, I will typically check back your track record once a month and update your stats myself. However, it is strongly advised that you check in regularly with me whenever you reach a new milestone. Also, you will have to know that resetting your track record is not a deal breaker. You will merely be temporarily kicked out of the ATA while you restart your credentials from zero and attempt to rejoin later. No trader has ever performed flawlessly right from the jump, and you will never be held to unattainable standards, so don't worry about it. Building an uninterrupted track record over many years is extremely hard. That is why so few traders can produce one, let alone on a real account. And after a long time has passed, your track record will likely, and hopefully so, no longer reflect the skills that you had at the beginning of it. So there is no shame in restarting. The only thing that is expected of you is to remain transparent at all times, be honest, and that's all that is required. Moving on to the ATA scoring system now. As I said, I've done my very best to streamline it and make it as fair and accessible for new traders, yet as selective and elitist as possible also for those of you who already put in a tremendous amount of work and deserve the recognition. So the scoring system needs to take care of both ends of the performance spectrum here. Before explaining it, I must repeat, barely making it to the verified level already sets you leagues apart from basically anything that's provided anywhere online, so please take it as a badge of honor and persevere. There are 6 criteria, each scored on a scale from 1 to 5, and here's the rationale for each one of them. Number 1. Skin in the game. The scale is ranked from sim to 8 figures. The reason is simple. Execution is or will have to become a huge part of your trading skills. As you progress, flawless one-click executions will become a thing of the past. Say hello to slippage, extra commissions, and algorithmic replication decay. The truth is that performing at scale and having to worry about order fills adds an entirely new layer of difficulty to the trading experience, as well as much higher level of mental control required to perform. And it's only normal that it gets rewarded accordingly in the scoring system. Number 2. Tenure. Sampling bias is a very real way to warp the perception of trading performance. The same strategy can perform very well in certain market conditions, but become absolutely horrible in others. But that is not to say that your strategy must be that unicorn that performs in any and all markets either. Absolutely not. That is only to say that the sample must be large enough to include a representative array of beneficial and adverse market regimes to correctly assess your trading resilience. A 5-year cycle is typically accepted to reflect a complete market cycle, meaning including a smooth bull, a parabolic rise, a range-bound stretch, a sharp, short-lived vol spike, and a protracted bear. That is why the scoring system includes as many as 3 cycles in order to maximize the shade thrown at you by real events. Number 3. Statistical significance. That one is self-explanatory. We want to assess skills, not luck. And for that reason, we need the trade sample to be significant. I've seen too many phonies on social media get away with 10 or 20 trades and then proceed to audit that and proclaim to have an audited track record. That is beyond preposterous and it cannot be taken seriously. We need a sizable sample to assess the repeatability of your edge through the law of large numbers, and there are no shortcuts to reflect that level of integrity. Volume is the only answer. That is what this metric is reflecting. Number 4. Risk-adjusted performance. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. My subs already have their ears bleeding out for me repeating it ad nauseum. Your rate of return is 100% irrelevant to your trading performance. No professional cares about you going apeshit on leverage. Any idiot can flip a button. What we care about instead is true skills, meaning risk-adjusted returns. The measure we will take here is simple. Your compounded annual rate of return divided by your maximum drawdown. No fluff, straight to the point, and the scale ranges from 0.25 to 1.5. Now I know that many of you will look at 1.5 and think that's a low bar. My answer to you is, you either haven't been trading long enough or with enough real money mental pressure. I have been in this industry for over 25 years now and I know what is and what isn't achievable long term. Now I am not saying that you are not the next intergenerational trading genius who will generate a ratio of 3 for the next 15 years. I'll be glad to have uncovered your talent before anyone else if that were to be the case, but until then, keep your head cool and have realistic expectations. You are not bound to perform at unheard of levels and you will not be punished for not reaching them. Number 5. Highest ranking. Absolute statistics are a great indication of performance, but in order to know for sure, and from a different source than the ATA, that you are performing well indeed, it is always interesting to get a third-party assessment of your performance versus your peers who trade in the same environment or evaluated on the same scale. I'm all about putting your performance on a level playing field, and as it happens, regulated platforms looking for trading talent to fund with seed money will typically host ongoing rankings. That is the case, for example, for DarwinX and Fundseeder. What we're looking for here is in which decile you rank according to their standardized assessment and versus other traders. We go from very good in the top 10% all the way to cream of the crop top 0.1%. Also, it is understood that it is illusory to maintain peak performance at all times. So the scoring is only interested in the best ranking the track record has ever achieved. Within reason, of course. If your track suddenly goes crashing into a margin call, you will use your credentials, but I think you get the point. Number 6, asset versatility. Trading mastery is not just measured in terms of performance, but also in terms of breadth of skills. Can you trade effectively more than one asset class? This criterion is essentially trying to decipher the one-trick ponies from the jack-of-all-trades traders, and that is not for show. The reason behind it is that it is self-evident that the wider the array of assets that you can trade, the more reliable your long-term performance, because the stronger your potential for decorrelation. Here, whether you trade the same asset using ETFs, CFDs, futures, or any kind of derivatives does not matter. All we care about is the underlying asset only. The more of them are included in your track record, the better. And here is the overall table with all the criteria combined. Now pause here to take it in if you need to. Each individual score will yield a final score over 60, which will then be normalized to 100 and finally assigned an ATA verified badge. Above 10 grants you verified status, above 30 bronze, over 50 silver, over 70 gold, and over 90 diamond. Now let's take the fictitious case of a new trader coming to the ATA for verification. We'll call him John. John started trading with DarwinX Classic a few months ago and funded a $25,000 real money account at Interactive Brokers for that purpose. Both are regulated, so he's all set. Criteria number 1, scores a 2. As I said, John just started and has only traded for 14 months, so criteria number 2 scores a 1. John so happens to have a very active trading system and places many trades every single day. With 854 trades in total, he already scores a 2 on criteria number 3. In 14 months, John hasn't seen many volatility regimes, and it's a lucky strike that the market configuration has been ideal for his strategy, so he printed an astonishing MAR ratio of 2.8 over this short period. That earns him a score of 5 on criteria number 4. Based on the way DarwinX ranks their traders, John has been blowing past the competition in recent months, moving up to rank 736 out of 8,966 traders, or in the top 8.2%. That earns him a score of 1 on criteria number 5. Lastly, John only trades futures, but he does so on gold, US Treasuries, and S&P 500. That's 3 distinct asset classes in total: precious metals, sovereign debt, and indices. That earns him 3 points on criteria number 6. In total, his overall score is 14 out of 30. That is a synthetic score of 47 out of 100, or a solid bronze badge right off the bat, even with a tiny 14-month track record. And this skill scan is the footprint of his best credibility profile to date. Obviously, the wider the footprint in the future, the better. As I said earlier, that alone already sets him leagues apart from any self-proclaimed trader online in a mere 14 months of achievements. So if you have what it takes, it could be you as well. So I hope that this is all clear. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comment section. I'm looking forward to hosting as many of you as possible. The community and repository will be hosted on its very own dedicated website, for which I have already reserved the domain, auditedtradersalliance.com. I am planning to have a general skills map pinpointing every member at once, an individual listing section showcasing each one of you separately, and possibly a forum section as well. I will announce it on X and in a YouTube post when it's up and running. The goal is to create a database of trusted traders to centralize talent in a curated area, to promote a healthy trading culture without the hype and nonsense that's been plaguing social media for far too long, and of course, to generate a genuine source of reliable knowledge for newcomers who are done being fed empty promises and scams of all sorts. I think we all deserve better than what's available online right now, and it's time to raise the bar. So if you want to be part of the OG members and a pioneer in this endeavor, you know who to contact. I'm looking forward to hearing from you.